So I'm traveling right now, and I just got done doing a gig out in Denver, Colorado. And I had a few conversations with a DJ that I worked with out here about his career and why he's really not DJing anymore. Hi, it's Bill. This is Creative License, and thanks again for being a part of my little dog and pony show. Thank you for my sponsors. Be sure to say hello and thank you to Disc Jockey Event Planner, to Promo Only, to Perfect Portals, to Disc Jockey News, to Electro Voice, and of course, I've got my little workshop, The Entertainment Experience. So, the conversation I was having was very interesting because the guy that helped me as my assistant here in Denver was talking about why he was no longer in the DJ business. And one of the biggest things was that so many of his colleagues in the wedding business are just kind of mean, and they haven't really been treating him very well, and especially venues that don't treat him well. And then the event that I was in, I had a few moments where the vendors didn't treat me with a whole lot of respect. This is what I told him, and I hope you kind of take this on, because I could have really gone down a bad rabbit hole by the way I was treated while I was here by other wedding vendors. But here's what I tried to be sure that my friend got, and the thing that I practice when this happens. And I'll tell you a little bit of a story. First of all, the venue was not really pleased with the fact that I was there and I was going to be in control of a lot of the things that were happening. They weren't real thrilled with some of the ideas that the bride and the groom wanted me to do, and they wanted to get me to stop it and don't do those things. It's going to get in the way of what we do. Even though they were plans, even though we went over things, they got really pushy and kind of bully, right? And there was another vendor did the same thing, kind of got pushy, kind of got bullyish. And what I used to do is get really offended by that. That's very disrespectful. I wouldn't come in and tell them how to do their job, yet they're here telling me how to do my job. It's upsetting, and you feel less, and you feel like they're attacking you. Well, here's how you get over that, or here's how you deal with it, and the way I've taken it on. You know that none of that stuff is personal, right? I mean, them coming at you isn't personal. Nothing that they can say about you, no matter how disrespectful they are, has anything to do with you. They're worried about their own life. They're worried about how they're being seen by their client. They're worried that they're not going to step up and be able to do their job. So for you to take on that you need to change everything about what you're doing just because they have a big problem with you, you can. And accommodating your vendors that you work with is not a bad idea. But it shouldn't be at the expense of you being able to do your job for your client. And for you to get all upset because they're being mean to you means that you think that they're doing this to you because they personally have a problem with you, and that's just not the case. Every problem that you think they have a problem with you has everything to do with them and nothing to do with you. There's a great book called The Four Agreements, and one of the four agreements does say that nothing is ever personal, ever. And that's in business, that's in life. Every time your child is angry with you and yells at you, that has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with that kid, right? If your wife is unhappy, or your husband is unhappy, or your partner or your lover, and they're attacking you, that has to do with all the things they're dealing with that you have nothing to know about. You don't know anything about that. All you are doing at this point is thinking to yourself that, what did I do? They don't love me. They don't like me. They don't respect me. And none of that stuff is true. When someone is attacking you, it's because they have their own personal problems. And not only is it that way in your personal life, but even more specifically in your professional life. Nothing that they ever say or do to you is personal. And if you can really take that on, then having a vendor that is a bully, it's not going to bug you, right? And whether or not you accommodate them or not shouldn't have anything to do with the fact that you're being bullied. You're going to do it because it's the right thing to do, or you're not going to do it because it's the right thing to do, not because you feel like you've been pushed, disrespected, and all of a sudden feel smaller because all of a sudden you take everything they say to heart. Don't take things personally. It just doesn't work out for you. And trust me, it doesn't work out for your client or the vendors you work with either, because they don't see you with more respect if you bow to that sort of thing because you take things personally. They actually will respect you a little less, okay? Because you took things personally, you weren't able to actually have a discussion and be able to come to a conclusion that works for both of you. This is my take. I think if you really think about it, you probably would agree. Tell me what you think. Leave some notes below. I'd love to hear about it. This is Bill. This is Creative License, and I'll see you next week.